Well, good evening. Is it just me or is it a little breezy in here tonight? Just me, I guess. I do not have much of my own wisdom to offer you this evening, but fortunately wisdom is abundant in the Scriptures. I'll be reading just a few passages about self-reflection, and the invitation will be yours. In the third poem in the book of Lamentations, the author is reflecting on the sins of the people of Jerusalem after its destruction. In verse 40, he says, "Let's examine and probe our ways and turn back to the Lord." While correcting the Corinthian churches partaking of the Lord's Supper, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 11, 28 and 29, "Let a person examine himself. In this way let him eat the bread and drink from the cup. For whoever eats and drinks without recognizing the body eats and drinks judgment on himself." When talking about his own faith, Paul says in 1 Corinthians 9, 26 and 27, "So I do not run like one who run aimlessly or box like one beating the air. Instead, I discipline my body and bring it under strict control, so that after preaching to others, I myself will not be disqualified." You cannot practice self-discipline unless you practice self-reflection. You must be able to recognize the areas of your life that need practice and training. David recognized how important it is to be in line with the will of God, so much so that he asked the Father himself to examine him in the 139th Psalm. In verses 23 and 24, he says, "Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my concerns. See if there is any offensive way in me. Lead me in the everlasting way." In these passages, we see the need for self-reflection when we are in sin. We see the need for self-reflection when we are in the faith. We see the need for self-reflection when we are worshiping God and remembering Him. And in Psalms, we see whose standard we need to be examining ourselves with. David asked God to examine him and show him the way. And finally, we read in 2 Corinthians 13:5, "Test yourselves to see if you are in the faith. Examine yourselves. Or you do not yourselves recognize that Jesus Christ is in you, unless you fail the test." And that is the question I have for you tonight. Is Jesus Christ in you? Are you passing the test? If you have not been made a Christian through baptism for the remission of your sins, we can do that tonight. If you are a Christian and you need the prayers of the faithful, we can do that tonight too. So please, if you have any need, let it be known as together we stand and sing.